Hello, everyone, and welcome to our customer live stream session where we shine a spotlight on companies that are blazing the trails in the race to digital transformation to ultimately improve and enrich the customer experience. Today, I am convinced that we are in the midst of a superstar. You would have seen him in marketing industry articles, newsletters, podcasts, and recently in almost all of Salesforce event stages with an overflowing audience, if I may add. We are privileged to have him up close and personal, where we get to ask the tough questions on how did they actually achieve what they say they achieved, which is the most elusive ROI for a digital transformation initiative. We have Robert Lopez, CMO of North's Collective. Hi, Robert, and welcome. Can you please
Hi,
start
Pauline.
introducing yourself and sharing how you became the legend that you are now?
Thanks, Pauline. Yes, I'm Robert Lopez, General Manager of CX Brand and Innovation here at North's Collective. Who are North's Collective? We're a profit-for-purpose dynamic hospitality group. We're community-focused and membership-based. We've got over 60,000 members, and Pauline, we've given back over $11.5 million in community support since 2015. We really are here for our community.
That is amazing. That just gets me so excited. That kind of intro, $11 million of giving back to the community. How amazing. But let's talk about your digital transformation. You have been on this journey for quite some time now. Can you please talk more about this journey? How did it start? What were the business problems you were trying to solve? And the process that you went through in figuring out the right solution?
Yeah, look, it's been a bit of a long journey now. Actually, we're in year 5, coming into year 6 of this digital transformation journey, and it all kicked off in 2018. The CEO Luke and I sat down, and we knew that the writing was on the wall for data and data privacy and third-party data. So we really wanted to be on the front foot and at the forefront of developing a strong digital transformation journey for our organisation. We're a very data-rich organisation, Pauline. We house a lot of data. You look at the 4 types of data. We've got a lot of demographical and a lot of transactional data. And this journey, as we'll learn throughout this discussion, really was underpinned around behavioural data and engagement data. And so right from the word go, Luke and I sat down and developed 3 key objectives that underpinned this journey. And those were initially to centralise our customer data. So create a single source of customer truth, a 360-degree view of our members. Second was to get smarter with our data. We're very data rich, but it was about making sense of that data and being able to use that data to allow our organisation to make better and smarter future business decisions. And third, and probably the one that gets me the most excited, was an objective around marketing. We wanted to get stronger with our marketing capabilities, really use a data-led and data-first initiative to create hyper-personalised omni-channel marketing journeys. So really have a personal touch on all of our digital, marketing touch points. So initially, there was about an 18-month investigation period before we even started building. Really had to scope out what it was that we needed. And understand, CRMs out on the market. And yes, we landed on Salesforce. And it's funny, I remember sitting with our CEO after I sort of spent a long time looking at all of the competition out there, and I sat with him and I said, Luke, not going with Salesforce is like going to McDonald's for a salad. What's the point? There was so much to it, really. And it's a journey that's been so enriching for the organisation, but on a personal level as well.
Yes. So I have so many follow-up questions on that. But the first thing I want to ask, Robert, is what made you decide that you want to get on this path? Number one, your industry. I'm sure it's safe for me to say that no one in your industry is kind of like ahead of you in terms of digital transformation. I try to be cautious with what I'm saying, but from what I've observed, being in this business for quite some time, the clubs industry, where you guys are, it's not really common to be thinking about, let's centralize our data. Let's get into the front foot of this digital transformation. These are extremely innovative thinking, even in other industry. What made you guys decide to stick your necks out for something that is so, for me, I find it extremely gutsy, right? Especially back in 2018.
Yeah, definitely. And we didn't know what the next sort of 4 years were going to hold. Throw a pandemic in there as well. So, you're right. The club industry overall generally isn't really focused or hasn't been focused on a digital transformation and really a data-led journey. However, I'm fortunate that our CEO Luke really has a strong vision and has had a strong vision for a long time for the organisation. We look beyond the four walls of our industry. We even look beyond the corners of our country. We look beyond and internationally at what leaders across the world are doing and across all industries. Hospitality. We're interesting because we're a hospitality venue, but I like to say that we're more an entertainment venue.
Yes.
We entertain people through food, through beverage, through live music, through private, corporate, social events, sporting groups. We touch so many lives, and for us, really, we can learn a lot from many industries.
Yes.
And so, right from the beginning, we sort of looked beyond our shores, and that's where we got excited. It's looking overseas. It's looking at big corporate groups and understanding how they've transformed the way that they interact and engage with their customers to allow us to learn from that and then bring it back to our business and relate it back to how we communicate currently, but how we want to communicate. This journey really was probably one of the biggest since our group's inception in 1955. This is a huge jump for us. We talk about digitization and digital transformation. And yes, we've digitized forms and we've digitized the way we work, but that's not really the crux of the digital transformation. Exactly. This at its core is a data transformation project, and it has been since day one.
Yes. So that's exactly the point. Your business has been around for such a long time. And sometimes this is really what gets companies stuck in their old ways of working. So I'd like to say that you and Luke are so lucky to have found each other. That's part of the magic of your success, right? But how did you both convince, first of all, the entire organization that, we are not looking into what the country is doing or looking at a global vision. We are that extremely ambitious as an organization. And how did you convince your board, who are probably, I'd say, not, thinking in this way of doing business, because they've had decades of running things and it's different from how it is now?
Yeah, and we've got a wide scope of experience across our board of directors, and we're very fortunate that they too understood the journey we were on. I think the key to answering your question really is around communication and taking all of our stakeholders on this journey with us, including our board of directors. Luke and I, right from the beginning, knew that when it came to stakeholders, we really needed the board to be on board with this.
Yeah.
So we developed some, really good, clear communications right from the beginning. There's a lot of people out there who really don't understand marketing at its core.
Yep.
They know of marketing, but they don't get marketing. And so really we peeled back all the layers and just brought to the board the underlying issues that we were trying to resolve and the objectives that we were trying to hit through this project. And when we start talking about data, that's where it lies. And, we landed with Salesforce. One of the reasons, Pauline, for us was because our core values aligned.
Yes.
Salesforce has their core values, and one of them is trust.
Yes.
We're an organisation, a membership organisation, and our members trust us. They feel safe being, at our venues and being part of the North Collective family. And so we aligned on those values, and the members trust us with their data as well. So we really wanted the board to understand that this was a digital transformation journey. This was a data transformation journey, but it was also helping us to mitigate any risk also associated with housing our members' data too. So it was about selling the key points from the beginning, taking our board of directors on this journey with us, but also taking our executive management team as well, because the board were on board with it. They understood the reasons. They understood that it was going to take resources to get to where we wanted to go. And there was a journey. We mapped out the journey. Before we signed the dotted line, we knew what the future sort of 3, 5, 7-year plan was going to look like. And yes, things change along the way, and the board know that. But we could prove results as we went along, Pauline. So they understood that, we may not hit every target all the time, but as long as they knew we always had goals and objectives that we were ticking off our list as we were going, they really understood that we were all in for this journey, as were they.
Yeah. So that 18-month preparation that you had, you were communicating already to your board, to your executive team. These are the stakeholders that you took them to the journey. How did you get the confidence in terms of the forecasts that you were presenting? That these, because you don't have industry, you know, you don't have the industry win to stand on. So, but how did you and Luke figure out, we're going to achieve these results 3 years, 5 years, 7 years? That gave them the confidence, that gave yourselves the confidence that this is the right thing to do.
Yeah, I guess, we relied heavily on the experience of Salesforce and our partners in that period to help us understand just what we could achieve from this journey. It was a new journey for both Luke and I. This was an exciting journey. It was a daunting journey, but it was new for all of our stakeholders, and we really did spend a lot of time with our partners and with our key Salesforce contacts to understand, if we achieve this now, if we build out this infrastructure, what's it going to do for us in 6, 12, 24, 36 months? And it allowed us to at least understand where we could see growth, membership growth, engagement growth. We really could understand that how can we, enrich the communication and engagement experience for all of our customers, not just our members. And I think for us, whilst we may not have had too many hard numbers at the word go, we built those numbers out over that first sort of 12 to 18 months of the build out phase. And that's when we really started seeing that, wow, there is end goals here. There really is going to be something tangible that we can touch at the end of this. It's not all up in the clouds and up in the sky. There's actual, hard results that we're seeing now. And from an engagement perspective, we've never, ever been as engaged with our members as we are now, especially in the digital landscape, ever. And to me, that's just phenomenal.
That's absolutely phenomenal. And we're going to talk more about the ROI. But talk to me about how you talked about how important to have the right values with your partners. How did that trust come about with Salesforce and picking the right partners? How did you cultivate that trust with them? How do you know that they're the right partner to go? Because it's a 7-year journey. Honestly, I say to my customers, when we start something like this, it's more like a marriage. We're not just dating. It can't be just a one-off thing, right?
100%. You're all in with this, and I talk about trust because it is a key core value of ours and of Salesforce, and we could tell from our initial engagement with Salesforce that they really wanted to understand our why. Why does North Collective exist? Why are we here? What do we do? Who are our customers? They really delved into all of that, and they wanted to get that out of us because for them, it helped them, build the best case for us to move forward. And we just felt that, we trusted that they knew what they were doing, and, innovation, another core value that we really want to align with as well. And we love the fact that they've got their, triannual updates that come out of their system. They're always innovating their cloud infrastructures. And so, for us, we really, really love the fact that they wanted to get to know us. You talk about it being like a relationship. It's just that. You want to get to know each other. This is more than a transactional engagement. This really is miles of levels above just being just that. This really is a relationship that we've worked hard, both parties, to build out, over the past 5 years. And it's one that we look forward to continuing to enrich.
Yes. And in all that 5 years, companies like Salesforce has been around for 20 plus years, and everyone knows Salesforce as this amazing tech company that has billions of dollars, and they've got amazing tech, right? It's a #1 customer success platform. But all these things that you're talking about are really people, right? Are the people that make up the team. So how did you build? So you were able to pick Salesforce. Hooray, because your board approved and signed off on the #1 success platform. But what about internally? What about the core team that actually implemented and carried on the vision and saw that through?
Yeah, and it was an interesting time because you can all imagine we had 2 pretty big lockdowns from 2020 and 2021. And in that time, we were still launching our new Salesforce ecosystem. We learned a lot along the way. And when I started this journey, really, it was me, myself, and I, building out and working with our core partners and Salesforce. And I had a team of 2 marketing team members working within my team. I look, fast forward to today, Pauline, and I've got a total of 10 within my team. And 2 of those team members, 2 of those team members are in roles that didn't exist. We've developed roles, key roles, within the team, and they're what we call platform users. So we've got our digital and CRM specialist, Kat, who lives and breathes Marketing Cloud every day and is doing some phenomenal things in that space. And we've got Liam, who's our digital integration analytics specialist, who really is working on that data piece and integration of siloed systems. And it was interesting because Liam and I were hosting a roundtable recently with Salesforce, and somebody asked Liam, they said, Liam, how does my organization get a Liam? How do we get one? And, to this day, Liam's response still rings true to me, and it just shows, the values that we're all aligned on. He said to them, it's not about getting a Liam. That's not what you need. What you need is a Luke, a Rob, and a Liam, because it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the magic. That's the magic, right?
That's the magic. You need all of your key stakeholders. You do need, I couldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Luke and his vision. Liam wouldn't be part of our team if we didn't grow the team, and I didn't see the need to grow the team, which was the best move we could make. We really needed to grow that internal resourcing team. Our partner ecosystem is phenomenal, and we obviously work very closely with AF Digital every day, and our key results to date really are thanks to our partners and the Salesforce ecosystem, our Salesforce team. But needing that internal resource and bringing those team members in has meant that we've been able to stay on top of a lot more and grow a lot faster as well, because we've had the right resources internally.
Yeah. So obviously you said you have 10 now, and you have the Liam, the data integration, and someone who lives and breathes. But when you started, once Salesforce got signed, you had 2 people in your team, right?
Yes, and non-Salesforce users. So it was just me using the system more like, a Salesforce administrator. And we had sort of key marketing team members managing our venues. Back when we launched, we had 4 venues. We've now got 8 venues and 2 fitness centers, and growing, Pauline, and growing.
So how were you able to manage? Because this is often a problem for a lot of organizations who has bought the Salesforce and started their journey. They're always like, I don't have the resources internally. I don't have the skills internally. But hearing from you, you started with yourself and 2 others. That's not a very large team, right? But you are in this whole plan to have a digital transformation journey. How did you make it work?
Yeah, I think planning is the key, but partnering up effectively. For us, I said that, our core values aligned with Salesforce. We landed on Salesforce as our CRM and core platform. But equally as much, our partner ecosystem came into play really in that scoping phase. And it's almost like a courting phase. You're meeting new potential partners, and you're working out who aligns the most. And if we look at, our partnerships with AF Digital, we've seen that relationship has only blossomed over time and grown. I look back to when we turned the system on, and yes, we had marketing team members that were using the Marketing Cloud platform, but we couldn't have got what we got out of it without the support of our partners. And for me, I think once you've landed on your CRM, you've then really got to work hard at choosing, selecting, and working with the right partners. Because that's what it comes down to. You've got your internal resources, but they only know so much. They're not out at the code base. They're not working with multiple different companies and seeing how they operate and understanding ecosystem changes and innovation changes. Whereas, your partners really bring that to the table when you work with them. They understand best practices, new opportunities out in the marketplace, and they help you develop your roadmap. And AF Digital developed our roadmap with us. Really, they were the key development partners when it came to our 3, 5, 7-year digital transformation roadmap, and which we're still on today.
Yes, and you are obviously a large organization, so you got the sign off. You were able to implement with the right partners, even with a small team. How did you manage to make sure that the rest of the team are using the platform effectively? Because it's not just your internal team that will be using the platform, right?
Yeah, we've got a number of platform users, and I think for us, Salesforce played a key role because Salesforce's objective is for us to get the most out of the system. They want us to see the results that we've seen to date. That's what they want. And they want us to really understand the true value of what the Salesforce tech stack brings to our organization. So they really helped us develop an onboarding sort of plan and roadmap for all of our stakeholders. The likes of Trailhead, online learning facility, accelerators. We had some great sessions with key Salesforce sort of product specialists in the initial phases to help us plan out our best approach and onboarding approach. But one thing that we did, Luke and I, right in the beginning of this journey, Pauline, we developed a digital transformation vision.
Amazing.
And that vision for Norse Collective was to be a true leader in digital transformation using new, emerging and sustainable technologies as a means to tell our story, build our brand and enrich relationships within our communities. Now, that digital transformation vision actually gets told to all of our new team members, whether they're customer facing, whether they're senior team members. Everybody understands our digital transformation vision right from the day they're inducted into the organization. And that's something that I've made sure happens because everybody in our organization, from the CEO through to our customer facing reception team members, we're going to be affected positively by this digital transformation journey. There was change coming, and change isn't always easy. So by developing this vision, we could at least start them on the right foot. We could at least explain why we've gone through this digital transformation and why we're continuing to invest time, money, resources, people into this digital transformation journey so that they feel part of it, because that's the key. You get buy-in. And, I love when my team talks with conviction. I love when we're out, we could be out at an industry event and they're talking to other, key industry leaders about our journey, but they're talking with conviction. They're talking with belief, knowledge, and really love and passion. And that's what I love to see.
And again, that vision is started between you and Luke, and now it's being transferred to that whole induction. Like it's something that not a lot of companies are doing, but has been transformational in terms of really achieving the success that you guys are achieving now, are seeing now. So do you get involved in making sure, until now, it's been 5 years in the journey, do you still get involved in making sure that this is still being translated to every new hire? I'm just so curious.
Yeah. We do in-person inductions. So all of the general managers, myself included, we all have 10 minutes where we present a slide deck to the new onboarding team members. And so one of my slides is our digital transformation vision. And I talk to that slide in quite a bit of depth, actually. And it's always a good point to do it in because I get to find out who's currently studying marketing potentially and who would like some experience as well. Because one thing for us is we want to be, an employer of choice. That's a real big core part, and we've just actually launched a new EVP, so employment value proposition. And a part of that really is that we are innovative. We are a tech-forward, hospitality company, and so people, your staff members like that. They like to know that from the beginning, because when they're out talking to family and friends about their new job, they start talking about Norse Collective and they start putting tech and marketing and all of that at the front of mind.
Yeah. So 5 years in, and everything that you're talking about sounds like nirvana for anyone going through a digital transformation. But I'm sure you've gone through some challenges. Are you able to share some of those challenges as far as this whole transformation? Because everything seems so rosy. If I'm someone listening right now, I'd be like, oh, they're just living in a perfect world at Norse Collective.
It's interesting. Did you hear the joke, Pauline, the one about the digital transformation journey that came in on time and under budget? Neither have I. And I think that's, there's always going to be challenges. And I remember we turned the lights on to our ecosystem in August of 2019. We started building in June of 2018. So it was a 14-month build out. I remember we turned the lights on and we were good to go. We digitized all our forms. Our CRM was ready to start ingesting all the new members that were signing up in venues on iPads. And that first month was hell. It really, really was.
Okay.
We didn't really spend enough time looking into the customer per se. So some of our venues, we have, slightly older customer base. So the text was too small on the iPad forms, and staff were getting frustrated because members couldn't read the field names and all of this stuff. And so that first month was hard. There was a lot of stuff to work out, a lot of changes to make to improve that customer experience. So that was initially probably the first challenge. Second challenge came around COVID lockdowns and wanting to still stay on this sort of very steep digital transformation journey that we were on, and not slow down. But obviously being in lockdown, it wasn't easy. However, we continued on that journey. We kept building during that first lockdown so we could launch in August of 2019. And then in that next year, we kept building and continued to build our infrastructure. We had challenges, there's always cash flow challenges and other challenges that present themselves. So we did have to pivot with our partners in Salesforce, pivot the way we were doing things and the way we were approaching that build out, but we never stopped. That's why we are where we are today. We didn't stop. We kept going, and now we're reaping the rewards.
Amazing.
I think also from a challenge perspective, it's not easy to hire Salesforce specialists. It isn't. You've really got to go hard, and you've got to, really sell it, because I think for us, Kat is phenomenal. And that was our digital and CRM specialist role, who really, I almost think of it like an internal agency role, where all of our marketing team, briefing their communication requirements, and this core team member really is out there every day making sure that they're targeting the comms that are going out are relevant, send time optimization to get it sent out at the right time, and really is focusing on all of our personalization strategy. And that was a hard role to fill. It really was. So there was a challenge in that time. When I had to fill that role, I was actually overseas for a 5-week holiday. So I was interviewing at 1 a.m. in Italy or some ungodly hour with different team members, our applicants. And so that's always a challenge. People will always be a challenge, but you can't live without them. You need them in your ecosystem, and you need the right people. So I think, people probably would be our other big challenge.
Yeah. So what were the lessons that you learned? Like with all those challenges that you've seen and how you've overcame them and the results that you've seen, what were the biggest lessons?
I think the lessons for us, the first one is, set clear objectives. That from us really set us in good stead from the beginning. We had those 3 objectives that we spoke about earlier, and they were clear, they were attainable, they were specific, they were measurable. And so those objectives really led us down a good path. I think planning, we were fortunate that we spent a long time, 18-month period scoping out, investigating, different options out there. So we did the due diligence, and I think organizations should definitely be doing that due diligence no matter what. You can't afford to miss that step. Partner up effectively. For us, I said it before and I'll say it again, without our partners, we wouldn't be here today. The results we've seen are thanks to our partners, the relationships that we've fostered in our internal team and our core Salesforce system. So you've got to partner up effectively and make sure that your partner's core values align with yours, and that your partner really gets your why. I keep saying the why, but I keep telling my team this magical word too. But that's what it all comes down to, Pauline, is the why. Why do we exist and why are we here? I think also make sure you take your stakeholders on the journey with you the whole way. Celebrate your wins and let them know of your challenges. You're all in this together. There's probably moments along the way where I felt a little bit alone in that early phase. But as the project went along, you really start getting everybody on board, and everyone gets excited when you reach a milestone, which is great as well. They start seeing these fruits come to life. And I think one of the key outcomes for us was just start using the system.
Yes.
You've invested resource, time, money, people into this digital transformation journey. You can't afford to not start using it. So don't be afraid to get all the bells and whistles flying early on, because the system's there for you to use. And I think a lot of companies, maybe a year after launching implementation and going live, they're still there probably using 10% of the system. So you've got to really start using it and get the most value out of it as early as you can.
Yeah. So thank you for those incredible, incredible lessons. Let's talk about the results. So you've been speaking on stages talking about the ROI, and to be honest, it's like, are they really getting that ROI? Because a lot of companies are like just are like can't figure out the best way to achieve it, measure it, and like be able to report it, right? So talk about the results.
Yeah, so we can break some results up. We've got engagement results, and
Yeah.
we've just seen huge engagement results. I mean, when we look at email, and email still is the king of communications. I don't care what anybody says, the data proves it. Email is still king. And we've gone from 21% open rates across our group to 60% open
Wow.
rates on average across the
Wow.
group. Unheard of sort of numbers.
That
And
is, that's what I was gonna say. That doesn't seem real.
no, it doesn't. You look at it and you think, oh, he's joking. No, come on down. I'll show you the engagement numbers. But open rates are a funny number. I actually prefer click-through rates. That's where I believe
Yep.
the
Yep.
true value
Yep.
and engagement lies. And we've gone from 1.4% to
Oh
11.3%
my god.
average click-through rates.
Again, that sounds unreal.
I mean, phenomenal. And it comes down to the fact that we're personalizing at every digital touch point. Our email communications have strong call to actions. We're using dynamic content to make sure we're delivering the right message to the right customer. Send time optimization, make sure they're getting it at the right time through the right channel as well. And because of that, we've actually seen a 45% increase in website visitation.
Amazing.
More people are going to our website, and we're capturing that data through Salesforce, personalization as well, which is phenomenal for known and unknown website visitors. So we've seen strong results in that space. And from a CX maturity scale level, it's just been phenomenal. We started this journey at 1.98 out of 5 on
I
the
remember
CX
that.
maturity scale. Remember that? 1.98. We're now sitting at 4.3.
Wow. Oh my gosh. You're gonna reach 5 already.
Oh my God, what then?
It's almost laughable, honestly. When we ask our customers, because most of our engagement, all of our engagement, we always ask our customers to measure the baseline in terms of their maturity, right? I'm a firm believer. We are all a firm believer of what you cannot measure, you cannot manage, right? And CX is always so hard to manage. And then sometimes they don't want to do that. They're like, oh, we don't want to see our maturity. We're so low. And they find it, a lot of customers feel like, oh, it's like it would probably be 1 or 1.2 or 1. But it's important to see that, because that's where you'll see the maturity. So you started at 1.9, and I'm sure at that point you're also like thinking, oh wow, this is so laughable, right? This is like so low. The baseline is just so low, because once something gets measured, then like, oh, it's right in your face. You can't hide it anymore, right? And
That's right.
yeah,
numbers don't lie. People
no,
lie.
exactly. And it's
So,
a truth. It's a hard truth number. And for 5 years, you got to 4.3. That's actually phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
yeah, something we're really proud of, especially with the lockdown and pandemic thrown into the middle of it all. We're really proud of that result. We sort of sit back and we say, wow, that's a great result. And we measure ourselves annually, and we're honest in that measurement. And so we love to see that it's still growing. It's been growing year on year, which is awesome.
So how has this improved the company's bottom line?
Yes, well, we've seen some strong results. We're a membership-based organisation, and we really measure ourselves based on our members. And we've seen huge growth since we sort of turned the lights on. We've seen a 20% growth in membership.
Wow.
And what I love to see, we talk about this churn rate. Some members choose not to renew, some do. You've also got your new members joining, so you always want to see a positive churn rate, or a drop in churn rate. And so we've seen an increase in our renewal or retention rate of 28%. So we've grown members 20%. We've also increased the number of members that are renewing as well. So overall, we've seen that come in strongly. And when we look at a digital landscape, we've seen a 45% increase in online ticket sales.
Wow.
So that's direct revenue to the business as well.
Oh my God.
That's phenomenal. And so right now we're working, really closely with AF Digital on what we call Project ROI, because we've claimed this year, 2023, is the year of proving ROI. And that's what it all comes down to. Now it's about the nuts and bolts. We've got all the bells and whistles. We're now building out the infrastructure, the architecture to allow us to report on our ROI and have a look at that, metrics like customer lifetime value.
Yep.
We've already seen just from initial work that's grown from 2019 to 2023. We've seen that we've managed to grow our CLTV, which is phenomenal. And then we're going to start measuring based on, member engagement scoring. We're starting to develop our own bespoke metric to help us understand how engaged is our overall membership base, which members are the most engaged, which aren't, and how do we grow that engagement? How do we get one extra, food and beverage visit a month from, half of our members? How do we get them to come and visit that one extra time? So that's really the focus of this year, and understanding how this system that we've built out has helped improve our ROI, and how can we make that measurable and also make us accountable too. We've put time and effort into it, but we've still got to remain accountable.
Yeah. And that's where you can really push the boundaries of what you guys can achieve, right? It's almost like the sky is the limit. It's extremely limitless in terms of, number one, what the platform can do and what you guys can achieve as a team. And you could just dream new dreams. And what will be your what will be your next goals? Like, I'm curious. Like, you have provided such incredible business results figures. What are the new dreams for North's Collective?
Well, we're always wanting to grow. And, since December 2021, in 1 year, we're less than 1 year, actually, in 8 months, we opened 3 new venues. So that's always a big part of who we are. We want to grow and want to keep connecting with our community.
Yes.
So for us, it's really about growing our footprint, continuing to grow our engagement with our members and continuing to grow their in-venue engagement with us as well. Because one of the metrics that I haven't mentioned yet, and I probably should actually, is that we've increased our community support by 13% since launching this digital transformation journey. So when our members engage with us, we can engage more with our community. And that's a huge result. So we want to always continue to grow that community engagement number, how much we're giving back to the community as well. And I think, we've got the infrastructure, we've got the capacity, the capabilities now, and the understanding, the know-how that we've grown along the way, and the partner ecosystem to allow us to achieve some phenomenal things. And so we love the fact that we've been on this journey and we continue to remain on this journey. And I just can't wait to see what the next 5 years bring, to be honest with you.
I'm just incredibly amazed. And it's an extreme privilege that we get to be part of this journey. Mark Benioff's famous quote is like, business is a great platform for change. And that $11 million and that 13% increase in terms of your giving back, like, that's reason enough to work hard for the entire team in terms of this whole journey that you guys are in. What's the last advice you can give to your peers? I can speak to you the whole day, Robert. I just love, and my head's like dizzy with all the business results. I'm like, oh my God, like, even I'm so inspired how we can achieve that. We're a Salesforce user too, ourselves in the business, and we've seen tremendous results as well. But all of the figures that you've shown is just so inspiring to me. What advice can you give your peers who are on a similar journey as you are?
Be brave. Be brave, be bold, be honest, but be brave. Do it. Do it.
Yes.
As Pauline said, the sky is the limit. Honestly, it's not going to be smooth sailing the whole way. It never will be. Don't expect it to be. You can plan as much as you want, and I recommend you do plan a lot, but be bold and be brave. Go out there, have conviction in the journey that you're on, and really make sure you're taking your stakeholders on the journey with you. That's really a key. But I just want to say, Pauline, thank you guys at AF Digital so much for everything that you've done for us on this journey. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is a relationship. You're in a relationship with your partners, and it's a relationship that we love and one that we will continue to foster and grow. But I want to thank you and your team for the opportunities you've given us to grow as an organisation and give back to our community.
Yeah, we are so grateful to have you as a customer. We love working with you. You inspire us so much. I'm not just grateful for me and my team, but for the whole Salesforce Trailblazer and the whole MarTech industry. Like, you're an inspiration because you stuck your neck out. You stuck your neck out. You totally stuck your neck, and you were bold and you were brave. It's really there's a saying. It's fortune favors the brave. That's it, right? Thank
That's
you
the
so
one.
much for your time, your generosity, and your brilliance. I always love talking to you and hearing from you. Thank you so much. If you guys have questions for Robert, you'll probably see him in another interview, or maybe when is your next talk, Robert?
I will be actually in Melbourne for all the Melbourneites out there south of the border. I'll be there on the 4th of May presenting at the Australia's biggest customer service experience show, the Customer Show, May 3rd to 4th. But I'll be there presenting the keynote. A lot of what's spoken today will be very relevant. So get your tickets, free to come along to that event, and yeah, hopefully I will see you down there.
Oh, I would definitely not miss that. I definitely won't miss opportunity to listen and learn from you again. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you learned so much. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to send it to us. Till our next time. Have a good day.